Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Grand Caliber. And this week we are going to show you the Big 12 conference with Jimmy and how that's going. We're also going to introduce you to our new sales guy, Eric Song. We're going to show you some day in the life stuff. You're going to see the crew just doing what they do best, sales, back end, etc., etc. So follow along as we do that.
All right, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about this 116509 Meteorite Daytona. I recently had a client looking for this watch for, I would say, about 3 to 4 weeks. And we were just looking for the right deal. Obviously, market has been up and down. And finally locked him in on one. It was a bit of a story behind it because he had an AP 15500 black dial. He took about a $30,000 hit on that watch with the market going up and down. However, we watched this watch go from about 120. I found it for him at the current market price of $90,000, which would put him in it good and pretty much offset that loss that he was taking with the AP. I wanted to do a video on this watch just to show you guys the condition, right? I mean, this thing is it's rough. Whoever had this watch definitely wore it, through sports, yard work, you name it. He was wearing this watch here. If you'll notice here, there are quite a bit of scratches around that case, the bezel on here, nothing too deep. So scratches, I'm not worried about. I mean, hey, look at the side of that case right there. Check out the bracelet. I mean, the clasp. The clasp has one small dent on there that we can get either laser filled. We'll get that taken care of. I'm not too much worried about that. I just wanted you guys to see the value of a good polish. There's a lot of people out there that are kind of skeptical on getting polishes, which I completely understand. Really, you just want to have a good watchmaker. If you do it correct, it's not going to hurt the value. We do not polish every watch up front. We have a lot of collectors out there that simply do not want a polished watch. We understand that, so we leave it up to your discretion. Overall, the crystal's in pretty good condition considering the rest of the watch. Pushers on the side, those can be polished, not worried about that. Like I said, this guy, he just seemed to kind of either work on a desk, just not care, which is okay. I mean, this watch is going to outlast our generation. That's the benefit of these here. But I'm excited to see the way this thing turns out, so stay tuned.
One of the big things we're trying to do is change the culture. When we are looking to expand and build the business, we want to make sure that the culture is right. So one of the big things I'm focusing on is customer service. Wrote 25 different handwritten letters to clients that have bought watches from us. We really want to make sure that we're building that relationship. So the little things such as a letter, reaching out to clients at various times, for holidays and things like that. I think those little things make a huge difference. Gonna go get this mailed out today. I was just called to go do some product photography, so let's go check in with our photography team, which, by the way, is, again, on a different side. I think the big thing is building that culture. We want to make sure that the company is still fun, exciting to work at, but also making sure that things go accounted for. Someone does something wrong, making sure that we have a policy and procedure in place that way we can have fun, but also make sure that the business is growing properly. Our photography team's over here. Ty and his team do a wonderful job. We've actually had some clients think that we're reposting Rolex photos. No, everything that we do is shot in-house, and it starts right here.
This is Alex, a good friend of mine. I know Alex because he used to detail my cars. He does incredible work. Don't you also have did you start your YouTube channel yet?
No.
Yeah,
I need to, man.
Oh my God, you need to get on that. Your business is wild, dude. You have all kinds of craziness going on. You get some he gets some classics in there, man.
Classics, exotics, boats, planes, do it all. Cool.
So the bracelet's just snapped off the watch. I mean, I'll be honest, I've never seen a break like this. One of the spring bars actually broke. The very tip of the other spring bar, I threw it away already, but they're still stuck inside of the watch. So it just completely. I mean, that's crazy. And you said you didn't any force, nothing.
No force at all. I do a lot of. I ride my 4-wheeler a lot with it, and I'm all my polishing is constantly just vibrating the shit out of the watch. So
when you get this watch, all I'm gonna suggest is don't do any work with it.
Don't work with it anymore.
Don't work well. Just don't do any like high intense like.
Yeah,
you hear
and honestly, I was running.
Listen. You hear that?
What was that?
That's your rotor.
Was it?
You hear that noise?
Yeah, I never heard it before.
Okay. It sounds like there's rocks in it.
Yeah.
The reason that's happening is because of the vibrations that your job entails, right? So whenever you're grinding and you're shaking, it's like you got to think there's like a paper clip in a sense where it's just being vibrated so much. It's just vibrating on that point
that
so
makes
much.
Sense.
It starts bending and rocking, and it starts losing the integrity that it should have. These watches weren't really meant to withstand that type of energy exerted onto the movement and so forth. So now the watch needs to be serviced.
Yeah.
This thing needed to be serviced. Yeah, we need to get it cleaned up, serviced. But what I recommend moving forward when you get the watch back, because we're going to warranty it. But I can only warranty it knowing that you didn't do anything crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, any four-wheeling.
Dude, I flew off a jet ski at 50 miles an hour with it on and it didn't come off my wrist.
Believe me, I surf with my watches.
Yeah, surfing is fine.
Surf is fine because I'm only going
45, 50 miles an hour. That was bad.
No, dude, that's insane because you're gonna take a huge impact. But anything that has high impact or high vibration, any jerking, jolting, it's gonna screw up the movement no matter what. And in this case, it actually broke the tip off of both sides.
I'm glad that happened at the house.
Which you're lucky it happened
at the house
in a calm setting.
Low to the ground.
Bro, this would have happened on a boat.
Gone.
Gone.
A roller coaster.
It would have been gone.
Yeah.
It would have just been a thing of the past. Moving forward, when you get the watch back, just take it off when you're doing like your grinders or anything like that. Because anything with a high rate of vibration is going to screw it up. And that goes for everybody out there too.
Yeah, learn from my mistakes.
Seriously, take your damn watch off if you're out there grinding away, jackhammering, whatever you do that requires a lot of use of your hands. Just take the watch off, put it in your pocket. We'll definitely get this thing serviced. It's
I wonder how much that thing's worth now.
What'd you pay me for it? You bought this
$82.50.
I'll give you $82.50 for it.
They'll know. I know it's worth more than that. I know it's for like, I've heard someone tell me it's
about 11.
Like 12. Yeah, I was 12.
Well, because you got a bezel engraved one, so they only made them bezel engraved for a very short period of time.
That's why I love that watch, man. I don't want to get rid of that thing.
It's a transitional piece.
Yeah, that's my.
Maybe I remember you still have the box papers with it.
Yeah, I still have everything.
Yeah, then you're kosher at 11. I think that's what somebody would pay for right now. But yeah, we'll get that fixed up.
Sounds good, bro.
Yeah, give it a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Do you want it polished up or you want to leave the scratches on? It's all right, I mean, it's banged up, dude.
I was thinking about maybe just doing that. I don't know.
Nah, because you got to think about it. Like, you're in the detailing business. Imagine if you just polished one panel on a car and left the rest.
I don't know, man. What do you think?
I think you just clean the whole thing up.
Is it going to be like a lot shinier?
No. It's going to be polished.
Just
like look at this watch. Like, it'll look like this. You see, like, the surface is very clean. It's not, like, all scratched to hell.
Yeah.
So it's like, think about it. Like, we're detailing it.
Yeah, right.
I thought about taking buffing it. No, don't do your tools. Let me do my tools. Let me you're in my world now. Yeah. Just like you would tell me, don't you take a grinder to your own car,
right?
Polishing wheel to your own car. You'd probably be like, you're gonna ruin your shit.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, man. Good catching up with you.
Appreciate it. How long do you think that'll be? You no telling, huh?
About 2 weeks.
Couple weeks, cool. Sounds good.
Give it a couple of weeks because like it's an overhaul now.
Yeah.
If it was just spring bar, I would have done this right now. I thought that's all you needed. Let me tell you, the advantage of using us other than Rolex is our turnaround's much faster and our price is about half. I'll get these things out.
Thanks, bro.
All right, brother.
Y'all have a good one.
So as you guys saw, this good friend of mine brought in his watches. They both seem to actually have the same problem, mechanically speaking. They're going to both need full services. Like I said to him, you can't really wear these watches when you're doing like anything that is causing a lot of vibration, such as polishing wheels or jackhammers, or I don't know what else causes a lot of vibrations. Just take your watch off if you're doing anything like that, because it will jar the movements bad. It is like the worst thing for the movement.
The newer watches don't do too bad. Like with the movement, they're pretty protected.
Well, I'll tell you why they do so well, because they're still new.
Yeah, but I'm just saying they're more protected.
They have the Inca block system that protects them, but you gotta understand, I've seen this on 2-year-old watches and rotors coming apart because people are just doing ridiculous shit. It's like, these aren't GoPros. The next step for these watches is they're going to go to our watchmaker. He's going to overhaul, polish, recondition. It usually takes a 2-week turnaround time. And like I said, we're now starting to push more service. It's because, one, we're half the price of Rolex, and two, we're about a third to a quarter of the wait time. Because Rolex's wait times right now are about 8 weeks. I have seen it stretch as long as 6 months. Because I couldn't believe that they held a Pepsi for 6 months because they were waiting for a bezel insert from Switzerland. I was like, bro, that should be like something you have at the front of the service center because it's a bezel, it's gonna crack. People are gonna break them.
Even though they had that delay, they refused to send it back. Once you send it and it's in their hands, they're going to keep it until they're done with it.
I used to bring watches to the service center all the time, and back when it was like a 6 week, like at the most 6 weeks. Now they've pushed it to 8 because of COVID, and then it stretched even longer, 10 weeks. And I'm just like, man, you know what? I don't know how anybody has the patience to deal with Rolex. I mean, I guess it's free if your watch is under warranty, then I guess that's the only thing that's appealing. But I would rather pay $2,000 to get an insert done in 2 weeks than wait 6 months without my watch.
On the older pieces, don't they, if needed, replace those parts with service parts?
Oh.
So don't even get started.
Don't get me started on what they do to vintage watches.
So we're at Globe Life Field in Arlington for the Big 12 Championship Baseball Tournament. We're really excited to be partners with the Big 12. Really excited for this event. Here to watch Oklahoma versus Texas, and let's see how it goes. What an awesome game. Thank you for the Big 12 for having us. We're super pumped to be partners. Could not have asked for a better event. Oklahoma scored 8 runs in the third when all of our signage was up. That's just how sports marketing goes. Sometimes you get lucky, so hopefully we see a ton of highlights on ESPN and everything. But it could not have gone any better with the marketing side of it. Awesome game. Thank you for the Big 12 for having us. Look forward to the next event.
What's up, guys? Today I got my boy Cedrick Wilson. He used to play for the Cowboys this past year. He went over to Miami Dolphins. He left us hanging, so I'm gonna have to give my man some hell about that. But it's all good. It's all love. Hopefully today we can find his new piece. What's going on? What's up, man? What's up? How you doing, man? You see? You're not all cramped up over each other.
Yeah, y'all got no more. I got everything. Everybody in their own office now.
Most sport watches are gonna have that bracelet, and they recently started making sport watches with a little Jubilee band.
How much this one right now?
Ballpark 15. So that Wimbledon dial, that's like comes from tennis. There's a little bit of history behind that. You got the blue Roman. Blue is always a little bit more desirable.
So what's the Rolex? I feel like I've seen one before. They be heavy. They be crazy heavy.
Gold for sure. Platinum and gold is gonna get you that weight. White gold is gonna pretty much feel like this, yeah. This right here, for example, the Batman. So it all depends on what you like. I mean, if you don't care to have that weight, then something like that. It's stainless steel, a lot lighter.
Okay.
But then you're talking, that particular one is 20,000,
Right.
which is a good deal. It's a 2015. That going for the 20,000. You can get a little bit newer for about 23.5.
Which one do people usually bust down? They bust down all of them. Stainless steel and I mean,
Man,
if I got
nowadays,
someone, I wouldn't bust down that.
yeah, exactly. You don't want to. I would say with a day dress, stuff like that, you can put diamonds in. And I'm gonna tell you now, if you're the person to put the diamonds in, they're not gonna come out on top if you try to sell it. You're gonna take a big hit. Because to bust down a full watch on average can cost 10 to 12K.
Okay.
So you take a $10,000 watch, you add $10,000 worth of diamonds. If you try to sell it, man, you probably only get like 15. So you probably take about 5K hit. But honestly, on the day dress, if you didn't like a dial, that's a watch you can kind of interchange dials. Keep the original so it doesn't hurt the value. But on watches like Batman's and these sport models, you don't want to start interchanging. Yeah. So that's the blue chrono. It's a boutique only special, meaning they only sold that watch out of their boutiques. You couldn't just walk in anywhere and get that particular one. Discontinued.
This the one that's gonna break the bank.
It's 85.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah. When you start talking classy, you walk in the room, people gonna notice.
Notice that one for
You're not just loud, you're just, you see.
Yeah, that's it. I know.
For me, the AP bracelets. That's one of the coldest bracelets in the game. You got the President bracelet, which I think is up there. That was on those anniversary ones, those.
Yeah.
That bracelet, that one, man, is one of the hardest out in my opinion.
What direction do I want to go?
Yeah.
That's a big question.
My boy ended up with the Wilburden 126334 stainless steel. Want to check that out? Fluted bezel, little oyster bracelet. Looking good, looking good. My boy's first luxury timepiece. Yes, sir.
Come here, my man. Big Cut.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna get you right.
All right, like I said, every week I'm going to give everyone a 2 to 3 minute update on the business because some people really enjoy learning and hearing about the business. Pretty difficult day. I've been here since 7:30. It's, oh wow, I don't even have a watch on right now. That's how busy I am. I think it's around 4. Haven't even had lunch yet. We dealt with a few things today. We had some employees that, or an employee that's going to be leaving us soon. You know, they have an opportunity to pursue something that they really, really wanted. You know, I heard that news today. So then I had to figure out with the team, with Marco and our ownership group, how we're going to backfill this individual. So that was the first big hurdle. We got planning for upcoming trips. I know IWJG is coming up here in June, finalizing that as well as meeting some of our clients. And then in addition, you know, really working on the design of the space. Worked around, tweaked the design a little bit, and then got all of the business processes underway. Turned out that we were figuring out the better way to do some of our servicing. Right now, we do a lot of services, full service or just a polish, but we wanted to really dive in to build a better system on how to do that. How to provide a record for the client, how to provide a record for us, and how to provide a record to our watchmaker, making sure that every single watch is accounted for. Another big thing is I know a lot of, for the followers that have been with us for a long time, they've seen us working off spreadsheets. Well, we're on a fully new custom-built platform, web-based, where our inventory can be accessed from our phone. You know, we know which is on consignment, what we own. We can check watches in, check watches out. We can invoice consignment agreements, purchase agreements, all from this app. So been spending a lot of time doing conference calls there. And then really just clients coming in. We had, I think, 4 or 5 clients that came in today specifically needing something that I had to be involved with, whether it's a specific deal, being paid on something. So all around, pretty busy day, but business is doing really well. Things are starting to pick up. We're starting to see a lot more watches come in, so very exciting times. You said you bought something from...
Yeah, I bought a Blue Dial Diamond Datejust.
Is that sold order?
Yeah.
Can you give me the info on that?
Yeah.
Where's your John Mayer?
It's in the safe.
Oh, did you have the root beer though?
I sold that.
You know what we're selling this for here?
What is that?
It's a Diamond Dial 41 Jubilee.
It's on 14.5.
Is it consigned? Did we buy it?
That's a good question. Speaking
Yeah,
of,
look at that.
Jimmy, can you help me? When we set up my not my AOL, but
Two's on AOL.
Two's
on AOL.
But I can't view inventory, so I'm having to run to Trent on every single watch for pricing, dates. You know, if it's new, pre-owned.
Can you view it on ChronoKey?
Yeah, you gotta start using ChronoKey.
We're gonna be live on Monday, man. Everything's gonna be on the app.
So
Inventory, pricing,
Our
cost, everything's on the app.
Okay, cool. Heck yeah.
No more spreadsheets.
I hear that. Hey,
All
one
cloud-based.
more time. No more spreadsheets, man.
Yeah, you'll be able to do purchase agreements, consignment agreements on the app, view our inventory, do trade watches on there. Is Eric here yet?
Yeah, he's here.
Where's he at?
Eric, I just want to introduce you to obviously Jimmy and their team and welcome aboard. In case you guys don't know, we just hired Eric as our new back-end sales guy and he will work his way. Hopefully, maybe he'll make it up to the front end. We'll see how he performs, but I have full faith. This guy ran a really cool Instagram account. He was actually like hustling big pieces on IG and I was noticing his stuff and I was like, man, you know, reached out to him for some stuff and turns out he was actually wanting to work for us, and I was like, interesting. So we ended up talking and ended up hiring him full time.
What's the bet? How long until he closes his first deal?
Oh man, I give it 3 days.
3 days?
3 days.
What do you got, Alfred?
I mean, the way the leads come in, you probably close the deal today.
I just give you a nice cushion, 3 days. That's, you know, end of the week.
48 hours.
48 hours.
A lot
Sell
of
6
opportunity
watches
out
like this
there.
guy in 48 hours.
For the record, Vic sold 6 watches in 48 hours. That's pretty impressive.
That's really good.
All right, I'll tell you what. If he closes a deal by himself in the next 48 hours,
Okay.
I'll pay for lunch for him, you, and I.
Okay.
If he doesn't close in the next 48 hours, you're paying for lunch.
That's fine. I'll take that bet.
What kind of food do you like?
What would we consign a Sea Dweller for? 2018
Deep Sea, Red Letter.
SD43.
SD43.
Consign it for
15.
That's my lowest.
14.5.
Cut
2018.
me 500
2018.
Huh? Well, that's the real market. I mean, $500 matters.
Ooh, we just told you that's the real market price, Marco.
15 is reasonable for retail. You're talking wholesale right now.
Bro, wholesale's like 13.5. What do you think?
So mine, it was like a 2022 for 14.5. That was
Marco's lost his edge.
You sold a 2022 for 14.5.
Remember the one that I had bought from Woven?
Oh, that was you selling it too cheap.
No, that was market. I'm serious. That was a month ago, but still, like, that's when everything was like really diving, and nobody wanted to.
Yeah, 2022s are going
I
for
think
15 right now.
Yeah, but right now, I feel like the market's kind of bouncing back.
Yeah, I think it's actually really stabilizing.
Yeah, it's stabilizing pretty good.
Man, it's been a 9-day difference. I would say last 2 weeks, whether retail clients buying.
I remember the first time when that market crashed was like that. It was back in February 2020. It was 2020 in February.
You say first time as in like first time ever.
No, first time I experienced it.
Oh.
First time I ever.
I've been in the industry long enough, bro. Back in my day.
No, I've been doing this for 10 years. Out of all 10 years I've been like buying and selling watches on my own, I've never seen the market halt like that.
Right.
It was just a screeching halt. February 2020, COVID, everybody's locked in their houses. We saw pandas drop. I mean, this is like the first time I've seen a panda go from like, I think at the time they were still trading, I think they were 32 back then, and they dropped to like 19, 20,000. And then now it's like the second time that's happened. But thank God it was like, it seems like it's rebounding pretty quick. So I'm happy about that.
By the way, I wrote handwritten letters to every single client that's bought a watch this month.
Okay.
A new thing is when we sell a watch, we're going to have a handwritten letter go out to each of those clients. They're just going to be signed Grand Caliber.
Yeah.
So just if your client asks, it's there. I want to step up the customer service. That's the big thing. Deja is going to start next Monday, and she's going to do the thank you cards. She's going to also be the receptionist. She's also going to do all the scheduling, flight booking for you guys when you guys travel. But I'm going to have her do the reviews as well, make sure that goes out. Tommy's going to give us some numbers tomorrow on how the Big 12 championship went.
Yeah, I asked about that.
Got to get the analytic numbers, the SEO numbers. But I think it was pretty good. You got a lot of traffic.
Are you going to be able to take that?
Yeah.
Are you going to take that data and like either argue against the Big 12 if it's not working out, or are we just going to
We
say?
can't do that for one tournament, though.
No. I'm saying over time.
Yeah. Well, the question is going to be whether or not it's
Conversion
worth.
rates, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Is it worth keeping the sports marketing if it's generating X amount of
Right.
revenue?
Right.
How many people? What did our SEO numbers look like? And keep in mind, we're in the awareness marketing right now, so it's just getting our brand out. But the question is going to be, at some point, how much traffic is going to our website? What's the average sale? What's the conversion rate? Is it worth having these sports marketing programs, or should we do something different with that money? Yeah, we'll get the numbers, I think, on Wednesday.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another little lesson from me, and also another watch I'm going to try to push this week. I think it's a new old stock. I think it's from 2018. It's a rose gold Yachtmaster with that rhodium dial. I noticed that we never actually did a kind of how a Sky Dweller works. So in case you didn't know, Sky Dweller is actually Rolex's most complicated watch, and it's actually very interesting. It's an annual calendar, which a lot of people don't know and don't kind of appreciate. I mean, I think Sky Dwellers are pretty appreciated in the watch world for sure. But I don't think people really, at least normal people who aren't necessarily into watches, don't appreciate how complicated a watch like this is to make. The coolest thing about this watch to me is everything is kind of controlled by the bezel. So the bezel spins in about 4 different positions. So this would be like number 4, this is number 3, this is number 2, and then that's number 1. So let's say, how it's in position 1 right now. If I did it to position 3 and just left it there and never touched it, it really wouldn't hurt it. So it doesn't really matter which position you keep this in. So the more important part, in my opinion, is making sure this crown is screwed in. Obviously, you want to make sure your crown is screwed in every watch that you own, that you're able to screw in that crown, because that just means it's airtight. So when you undo this crown, obviously you have this position where you're just winding it. If you guys didn't know, a Rolex is fully wound, when you pop out the crown, and you always use 2 fingers, never use one. Don't go like this with it. It's kind of like the pressure is coming up on here and you can kind of cork stuff. So you always want to use 2 evenly pressured rolls in your fingers. It's kind of how I like to say it. Don't really worry about overwinding a modern Rolex, especially one like this, because it's basically designed so it can't overwind. The rotor pretty much disengages itself once it's max. You can't hurt it by doing that too much. I mean, obviously I wouldn't crank it all day because, you know, it's just not meant for that, but don't worry about overwinding it a few times or whatever. You can pop it out once more, and then now it kind of does its functionalities. So this first position here, it doesn't really do anything. You can kind of just go back and forth on the crown and you can see nothing happens. But as soon as you click it over to the second position and then you start winding it, now you see the date wheel kind of changes. I like using this app called Watchville. It is an amazing app for timekeeping. So even if this had a moon phase on it, I'd be able to set the moon phase to wherever location I am. When I set watches, I'll usually put them on the day before it is, because what happens is when I'm messing with the time or like the hours, I can tell whether it's the morning or afternoon. So I just flipped it over through 12, and you see how it didn't change? It's because it was on morning. So now if you flip it again to 12, it'll change to 31. And then also, you know that it's morning. So seeing how it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll just set it kind of like this. I'm gonna have to play with that again because as soon as I mess with the minutes, everything's gonna change because it has the GMT on it as well. I'll set the GMT kind of the same time. It's already on 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll just go to 7 and then go like that. Sometimes what you'll have to do is, because you mess with the minutes, the hour hand also moves. So you just go back into this position right here and you have to either put the hour hand back or forward, whatever time it is. It's obviously got the minutes, the hours, the seconds, the GMT, the date, but what a lot of people miss is you see this red marker at the 10 here. That's also the month. So the way you change the month is you want to go back to that date wheel. So it's usually like always position 2, and then pop that out. You see how when I go past the month, you'll see that red marker kind of flip. So it's May, almost June, so you're gonna go to 5, one more, okay, and then now it is the 31st, but again, I'm gonna set it to the 30th just because I'm gonna make sure that, you know, as soon as I put this back into that position for the hours, it's gonna go to 31 right when I pass 12, and then I'm gonna set it to the afternoon. It's 4. The minute hand is already good because I just changed it, and then now we have a fully set Sky Dweller. So hopefully that was a little informative for you guys. Again, this is a new old stock rhodium Sky Dweller with rose gold. We have it currently listed for $62,500, which I think is a phenomenal deal at the moment. It's consigned with us. Great client, great collector. He just has a little bit too many watches, so he wants to just get rid of a few. So hit us up, grandcaliber.com. You can contact myself personally at Alfred Green IV on Instagram. Matt will put it right there, and hope to hear from you soon.
All right, that's a wrap. I hope you guys enjoy yet another week here at the Grand Caliber. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. See you next time.